Day 352. And once again, I've been recording a lot. Why is it wet? And haven't uploaded anything. 352 days. We're coming up on a year. Which means we're coming up on my 50th birthday. So within that year, lots have happened. Has happened. Also, lots has not happened. I'll probably have to mow by next week. Jesus Christ. So this weekend I've come, and I'll do this 4,000 times, but I think in the past few months or weeks or years, I've started projects that are cripplingly overwhelming, knowing that I can't complete them in a timely manner or in the way that I want them to be done because of time restraints, budget, facilities, equipment. So the garage has insulation in the on the trusses up against the sheeting on the roof. That's semi-okay if you're trying to keep, a rough space garage warm, but exposed insulation rains fiberglass like all the time, and the there's a lot of the supporting members and things, and the paper backing has broken down because of the heat. You don't want that up against the... Damn, I'm trying to button this damn fucking little tiny cock-bagged motherfucker. Fuck it. Anyway. What happens is the heat from the roof, the sun baking on the shingles, gets too hot, and it breaks down the shingles prematurely. There's no airflow underneath the sheeting. So if I were to, which I plan on doing, drywall the ceiling in the garage, yes, I'm going to lose a lot of space, but the feel and the ability to regulate temperature in the garage is going to be so much better, and I can run utilities up above, air lines, vacuum lines, lighting, different things in the attic or in what would be an attic space, and I can create an attic space for additional storage, but you lose storage in the attic there. But honestly, I don't store a lot up there. There's a few things, but they're only there because they need to be up and out of the way. It's a quick fix. I think it's only like a 9-foot ceiling. It may not even be that much. No. It might be a 10-footer. either way, I think I'm going to drywall the ceiling. Doing that, I need to pull the insulation down. I'm not looking forward to doing that, but if I'm going to drywall, the insulation needs to come down 100%. And it's going to be more work to try to fix and insulate what's up there than just biting the bullet, spending a day pulling it down. I don't know how I'm going to practically do that, but with that project, that's a huge undertaking. So meanwhile, I'm trying to organize and rearrange the benches and storage, and I think what had happened is when the house was purchased, the previous owners had a lot of storage and shelves that were, I mean, it sounds like a good idea to have benches everywhere, but use practicality wise, you don't need a bench everywhere. It's a pain in the ass to get up over benches, and then you're limited to what you can put underneath. So what I want to do is remove some of the benches. I have my little workstation that I built almost as a temporary, but it has become permanent. My little workbench area. I don't need much more than what I have. It stores and houses anything that I would do for a small project. Anything larger, I would need to set up set up horses or set up some kind of working station. What I'm thinking about doing also is moving the table saw out into the middle, but I don't table saw that often. I don't know. I have a lot of things that I want to do. Anyway, just to make a short story, or to make a long story short, I have realized that taking on large projects and looking at the whole scope is practical, but also unrealistic. Right now, I want to organize my paints. Spray paint. There's probably 60 cans of spray paint, different colors, from primers to finishes to clears, varnish, different chemicals. Plus there's a dozen tubes of caulk. With painting the house, I like having, you could potentially go through a tube of caulk painting a room. So I like keeping caulk around. At first I was getting the cheap 20-year Alex, and it worked fine, but for another 47 cents I get the 40-year. I like it better. I have a lot of clears, painter's caulk, and then I discovered White Lightning. I don't know. I'm still on the hunt for the perfect caulk, and it's, when you're paying $2 for a painter's caulk, and get something you want. a difference between $2 and $3 in a product that works for you and how you want it to work. If I could spend that extra buck instead of fighting it. I want my caulk to be flexible, but paintable within 15-20 minutes. Because the small, everyday painter at home guy isn't able to stretch things out to where you can paint the next day. It's just not how it works. Practicality wise, I want shit I can paint in 30 minutes or less. And that's pushing it. In an ideal world, in a perfect world, I would paint right over top of just as soon as I laid a bead. So anyway, I want to organize my paints. I have the materials, minus a few nails and some things that I want to build a spray paint, caulk, and tape storage unit station. And that is what I want to accomplish. I can do that. That's a reasonable goal. Where at first I told myself, oh, I need to build the spray paint rack. Big hole. Build the spray paint rack, move all this stuff, cut this down, move on. Yeah, that's not realistic because it's not going to be as satisfying as building the rack and then doing whatever from there, because I don't know what I want to accomplish. There's so much stuff still in the way in the garage that I need to get rid of. And now that I have the motorcycle in there, which is obviously it's on wheels, I can move it back outside for this weekend to do what I need to do. And I think I may wind up, in the back of my mind, I want to cut that shelf out and kind of build shelving and tear the other shelf down. And there's a lot of shit I want to do. I don't know. It's difficult to have areas because I have such a varying. I work with so many different media. I have welding, woodworking, other various metals, electrical, mechanical. I want to get into knife making. I would really like to do that. I want to get into 3D printing. I want to build. I want to build action figures. I want to build action figures and armor. I want a life-size Captain Rex. I 100% want a life-size Captain Rex. I want a mannequin. I want to build a Captain Rex. And the only way I really know how to do that, I mean, I could get the armor, I guess. I don't know. Guess there's a way to. My brain's just cranking. Anyway. So I want to build this rack. And that's what I plan on doing this weekend. I in my brain, realistically, it's a 2 or 3 hour project. With getting everything out, cleaning everything up, 2-3 hours, I can have this thing built. But at the same time, I have ideas of how I want to do the shelves and things, and I want to do some rabbet joints, and it's more of an exercise in how I want to see it happen, where, build a jig to make everything the same. I want to rabbet, probably only like an 1/8 inch to accept the shelf edges on that's how I want to see it happen. And we'll make sure that it's not going to sag, and it's only going to be 20 inches wide, which will hold 7 cans of paint. And it's at a 30-degree angle, so they're not laying flat. The whole thing is going to take up like 10 inches deep. The wood's only 1x6, which is 5.5 inches deep. So 1/2 inch plywood on the back of that's going to be 6 inches, roughly 6 inches worth of real estate. And maybe I'll take some images of that. But also, I was supposed to work this weekend, but I think they canceled. So I have all weekend to do it. It's going to be it's going to be not warm, but it's going to be sunny and not cold. Also, Wednesday, St. Patrick's Day, got a call that my mother had an accident. My mother fell. My mother fell and broke her shoulder. She tripped over an open dishwasher. Tripped and broke her shoulder. Spent the night in the ER. And then yesterday, I guess when they went to reset, because it was dislocated, and then when they went to pop it back into place, a piece fractured, and they needed to do some surgery to remove some of the bone fragments. And I guess they did another x-ray or some kind of whatever devil magic doctors do. Realized that she needed a complete shoulder replacement because she broke the shit out of her shoulder. So they did a reverse shoulder replacement. And a 72-year-old woman who just tripped over a goddamn door. So my mother has a history of gravitational challenges. And I mean, she's over 70 years. There's only 5 times she's fallen, but every time she has fallen, she falls big. So I remember the first time that I remember, I was about 18, 19 years old, and I was out making some speaker boxes for my car, and I hear this noise, and then she's screaming for me or screaming for something, and she had fallen down the step, or go down the steps at the house where I grew up. It had remodeled, and the last 4 or 5 steps, half the stairs was open, like open, no railing, and there was no real practical reason to have railing there. It opened up to. There was a bathroom there, and it went straight into the living area. I mean, looking back, it was a small house, but it worked. And this dude behind me is like, he could probably read my thoughts. So anyway, she had kind of just miscalculated and stepped off the edge and fell, and she broke her wrist. I think she broke her radius. And oh, look, thin blue line guy. So I took her to the hospital, and I splinted her arm. Took her to the hospital and all that shit. Dude, what the fuck? And a couple years later, she fell and crushed her face. And then a couple years after that, she fell and busted. She broke her eye socket. And then, yeah, she doesn't tumble and bruise. She falls and breaks. So anyway, and they're in Louisville, so I can't go visit or, do any kind of support there. So it's an awkward situation. I'm not big on, the family has to be together and things like this. And it's, quite frankly, if I was broken, I don't want anybody around. I just leave me the fuck alone. So, my sister's telling me everything's all right. She's taking care of it. Fine, that's good enough for me. I'm not doing anybody any good by worrying about it and being in the way. So, dude, people, get the fuck out of my way. It's not that. Anyway, so that's on my mind. And Monday, Brandy has to have, I don't know if there's an ectomy for it, but she's having her gallbladder removed. So she's going to be down for a few days. I'm hoping everything goes well, and I'm taking 2 days off. Partially because I don't have that many vacation days this year. Because the Rona fucked me out of going into the negative this year. For no goddamn reason. But that's what I plan on doing. And then between that and getting stuff kind of started for the basement, I honestly, while she's in the hospital, I can't go wait in the waiting room. Basically, I drop her off and then go pick her back up when her surgery's done, or after she's out of recovery. which may be 6, 7 o'clock at night. So Monday, Tuesday, I'm just home in case you need something. So meanwhile, I might start looking into the stuff in the basement and getting that situated. I think the video I recorded last that I didn't post was discussing how and why we need to do the basement first, because of all the clutter upstairs. And yeah, we can take all the stuff downstairs and get rid of it, but it's not getting rid of it. It is just to work on the upstairs, we need the downstairs in a functional position. And to move her studio downstairs is going to take a lot. Therefore, freeing up all the stuff upstairs. Because a lot of the stuff in the living room and a lot of stuff in the dining area is craft stuff that needs to be not there. And I don't want to move it downstairs just to move it again. I want to move it once. I want to put it where it belongs. Be done with it. So, whatever. Alright, well, I mean, my one goal this weekend is to do my paint storage. I imagine how it's going to look, but I also know that if I get frustrated in the middle of it, it's going to be however it just turns out. But I want to practice different methods of like the router and different clamping and guides and jigs and things. Well, I'm thinking about, while I'm talking, I'm thinking about different ways I can do it. And it doesn't need to be that elaborate. I can just I have everything I need, except for maybe some nails and some pins. That's pretty much all I would need to get. I don't plan on painting it. Maybe get a dowel, a couple dowels. But that's it. That's all I need to talk about. So fuck off. I got shit to do.